Good evening, everyone. It being 6 o'clock, I'll declare the October 2023 Ordinary Meeting of the Shire of Capel open. And I'd also like to welcome and acknowledge the presence at tonight's meeting of two of our honorary freemen, Bill Spur and Murray Scott. We wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land we're meeting on, the Wadandi people. We wish to acknowledge and respect their continuing connection to the land, waters and community. We pay our respects to all members of the Aboriginal communities and their culture, and to their elders past and present, their descendants who are with us today and those who will follow in their footsteps. We'll move to the declaration of recently elected councillors. The Local Government Act 1995, section 2.291 indicates that a person elected as an elected mayor or president or as a councillor has to make a declaration in the prescribed form before acting in the office. The 5 councillors declared elected at the Shire of Capel on the 21st of October 2023 are now required to make the declaration before participating in any part of the ordinary meeting. Mr. Bill Spur, JP, Freeman of the Shire of Capel, will officiate the declaration with photographs taken by the Shire. And we'll do the declaration of recently elected councillors one by one, and we'll start with John Ferguson.
Rules of Conduct Regulations 2021. Do you want me to do it again?
Yeah, you can if you want.
No, do you want me to do it again? Okay. Everyone hear that? Okay. So I sign. Thanks, Bill. Okay, I'll move on. Thank you.
Thanks,
And
John.
thank you. And thank you for the opportunity.
John, please take a seat at the council table. And next to do their declaration, Rosina Mogg.
I, Rosina Mogg of Jalorup, Shire of Capel, having been elected to the office of Councillor of the Shire of Capel, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the local government rules of conduct, regulations 2021.
And next to do the declaration, Kieran Noonan.
I, Kieran James Noonan of 96 Jalorup Rise, Jalorup, having been elected to the office of Councillor of the Shire of Capel, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe local government rules of conduct, regulations 2021.
And next, for the declaration, Sebastian Sciano.
Thanks, James. I, Sebastian Sciano de Cola of 17 Waddingham Loop, Capel, having been elected to the office of Councillor of the Shire of Capel, declare that I take upon myself and will duty faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the Local Government Rules of Conduct Regulations 2021.
And the declaration from Terry Sharp.
Thank you. I, Teresa Terry Sharp, of 108 Jalorup Rise, having been elected to the office of Councillor of the Shire of Capel, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly, and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the Local Government Rules of Conduct Regulations 2021. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bill, and welcome to the newly elected and declared councillors of the Shire of Capel. I will now move to the election of Shire President. The Local Government Act 1995, Schedule 2.3, Division 1, Section 4, indicates in part that the council is to elect a councillor to fill the office of President. The election is to be conducted by the Chief Executive Officer in accordance with the procedures prescribed. Nominations are to be given to the Chief Executive Officer in writing before the meeting or during the meeting before close of nominations. Nominations close at the meeting at the time announced by the Chief Executive Officer. which is sufficient time after the announcement by the Chief Executive Officer that nominations are about to close to allow for any nominations made to be dealt with. Right. Prior to the meeting, I received written nomination from 3 councillors, Councillor Christine Terrentroy, Councillor Doug Kitchen and Councillor Rosina Mogg. Are there any further nominations for the position of Shire President? I'll advise that I'm about to close the call for nominations for Shire President. Are there any further nominations? Okay, I'll then close the nominations for the position of Shire President. We have 3 nominees and we'll move to the election process. I will allow each of the 3 nominees 2 minutes to speak on their intent to nominate for the position of Shire President. And we'll start with Councillor Doug Kitchen.
Thank you, Mr. CEO and councillors. It's been a privilege to represent the Shire of Capel as President these past 2 years. When I nominated 2 years ago, I promised to lead as a servant, serving the community and council to gain better outcomes and solutions to the issues in our district. While there is always more to do, I believe the plans, strategies and works delivered or regenerated over the past 2 years have placed the organisation in a much better position to deliver outcomes and solutions to the community, and it is a vision that we can see coming through our most recently adopted corporate business plan. During my time as President, I have re-established regular meetings with state and federal MPs, keeping our members up to date with matters happening in or impacting our district, and using the relationships to benefit the Shire of Capel. In addition to regular meetings with our local government counterparts in the Bunbury Geograph region with our mayors and presidents, I have also established regular meetings with the City of Busselton, which hadn't occurred for 12 years. I've made it a goal to raise the profile of the Shire from a small rural local government between 2 cities to a major regional player that contributes to the region and whose opinion and advice is sought by the regional collective. We have the 4th largest population in the region, significant urban growth, advanced agricultural production, and many environmental assets. It was time to get serious, and I firmly believe we have raised the Shire of Capel to a mature, respected organisation amongst the region. It would be an honour and a privilege to continue in the role, and if re-elected, I make the commitment again to lead as a servant to the community and to the council, and to elevate the lifestyle of choice local government. I humbly ask for your support and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Councillor Kitchen. Councillor Christine Terrentroy.
I'm standing for the position of Shire President as I have the drive and commitment to fulfil the role. My leadership style is based on establishing positive relationships, accountability and transparency. My strong interpersonal and communication skills underpin my effective leadership style. As a councillor, I've stood in by my commitment to serve the people who live within the entire Shire of Capel. Residents have contacted me regularly via the phone and email. I always make a genuine effort to contact them back and listen to their concerns and discuss how I can assist them within the limits of what one councillor can do. While attending community meetings or gatherings, I make myself available to listen to and chat with locals and residents and visitors. I have put forward several motions on behalf of residents at council meetings and have sent emails to the CEO and leadership staff on behalf of residents. I am a tertiary educated independent thinker who considers complex issues with a balanced and well-researched and solution-focused approach based on factual information. My track record as a lifelong community volunteer, justice of the peace and school teacher demonstrates my service to my community prior to being elected as a councillor. All of these experiences have enhanced my leadership skills. I am the granddaughter of a dairy farmer and understand some of the issues faced by farmers in our Shire. I am fully supportive of the work our farmers do as primary producers to manage the land and farm in an environmentally sustainable way. I value their contribution to our local economy, tourism and international trade. On request, I have met with and listened to local farmers about their concerns on issues coming before council. I take my council responsibilities seriously, and this is why I chose to complete my 5 essential councillor training units within the first 4 months of being elected in 2021. Councillor training equipped me with knowledge and understandings of how local governments operate and made it clear the responsibilities of a councillor and the importance of following the Local Government Act, Code of Conduct and standing orders.
Wrap up, please, Councillor Turenshaw.
I value and practice transparency, integrity and acceptance of diversity and fairness. If elected by my peers as presidents, I will serve and promote the whole of the Shire and support my fellow councillors to work with the CEO for the benefit of the residents of the Shire of Capel. As Shire President, I will lead by example and will continue to value each councillor for their different skill sets, knowledge, life experiences and views on matters that as a council we face. Our diverse council helps us represent and serve our residents from 9 councillor perspectives. As Shire President, I will strive to lead well by continuing to demonstrate the universal values of honesty, respect and integrity. I am up to the challenge of being President of the Shire of Capel. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Councillor Turenshaw. Councillor Rosina Mogg.
Thank you, Shire CEO and Council. I'd like to welcome our distinguished guests, partners and our newly formed council sitting all before us. Wishing you councillors all the best. I've been there and it's exciting and new. I'd like to acknowledge and thank our outgoing councillor Cara Andrews for her service and positive contribution to the Shire of Capel. A bit about myself. I was born and schooled in a small country community of Noangarup, a bit much like Boynup and Capel. So I have that connection and understanding. Where I was raised on a sheep and wheat farm, my husband Lewis and I moved to the area 34 years ago to start our business, Lou's Automotive Repairs. We worked hard and not long after we bought a property in Jalorup located in our beautiful Shire of Capel, where we had the privilege of raising our 3 children and now our first grandchild in the unique lifestyle it offers. During this time, I have volunteered and have been a part of multiple community groups and campaigns, a couple, Gasfield Free Southwest, agricultural societies and a scout leader for 20 years. In 2019, I was elected to the Shire of Capel. It has been an honourable, challenging, memorable 4-big-year learning journey during that 4 years. I have advocated or either been a member or council representative for many internal and external committees. Some of my proud and memorable achievements while on council, just to name a couple, there's many, was seeing those 3 flags out there installed in front of council building after a motion I brought to council. The CAT motion I brought to council that was anonymous with council, and a part of that was the motion presented at the Walga AGM that I attended and read out in front of a ballroom of 300 people. It was passed 119-30, such a memorable occasion and achievement. Again, just to name a few, and of course none of these were possible without all stakeholders, council, Shire staff and residents working together as a team to achieve such outcomes. I attended monthly ordinary council meetings, all except one, for my mother's funeral, and all citizenship ceremonies except one. I am not a member or affiliated with any political party. As a councillor, I've reflected on my experience and know we can improve our practices by implementing new and positive changes, and I've been instrumental in a lot of those. I've been working hard, putting unity back in community and building our restoring relations between those within the Shire of Capel. Of course, there is a lot more to say, but there's 2 minutes. And P.S., I've just been told that I have a cool signature. Thank you.
Thank you, councillors. We'll now move to the election process. We'll distribute the ballot papers. Remind councillors that we're using the optional preferential voting system. I'd like to advise that having received 6 first preference votes, Councillor Doug Kitchen is elected to the Shire President of the Shire of Capel.
I, Douglas Jeffrey Kitchen, of Boynup, the Shire of Capel, having been elected to the office of Shire President of the Shire of Capel, declare that I take upon the office myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office of the people of the district in accordance to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the Local Government Rules of Conduct Regulations 2001. Right, we'll move on to the election of Deputy President. The Local Government Act 1995, Schedule 2.3, Division 2, Section 8 indicates in part that the Council is to elect a councillor other than the Mayor or President to fill the office of the Deputy President. The election is to be conducted in accordance with the procedures prescribed by the President, or if he or she is not present, by the Chief Executive Officer. Nominations are to be given to the person conducting the election in writing before the meeting or during the meeting before the close of nominations. Nominations close at a time announced by the person conducting the election, with sufficient time after the announcement by that person that nominations are about to close to allow for any nominations to be dealt with. If a councillor is nominated by another councillor, the person conducting the election is not to accept that nomination unless the nominee has advised that the person conducting the election, orally or in writing, that he or she is willing to be nominated for that office. Okay, so we have a master list of nominations for the Deputy President. So far we have received nominations from Councillor Peter McCleary, Councillor Christine Tarantroy, Councillor Sebastian Sciano and Councillor Rosina Mogg. Are there any further nominations for the position of Deputy President? Nominations are about to close. No, I'll declare nominations closed with 4 councillors nominating for the position. To aid with the election, I will ask the Chief Executive Officer and staff to conduct the election process.
Was it intended that candidates were going to have the opportunity to speak as well?
Yes, sorry, that's my oversight. I will allow that. No ballots have been distributed? No, apologies for that. Yes, I'll allow a 2-minute presentation from candidates for the position. Yeah, I'll make a noise 30 seconds before the time's up so as to not interrupt the speaking process. I'll ask for members to speak in the order in which nominations were received. So first, Councillor Peter McCleary.
First, I'd like to thank Councillor Sebastian for putting that forward. I thought we were just going to get smoothly into it, but All right, I've been a councillor, anniversary, well, 12 years now, 2 year of. I've seen a lot of councillors come and go, and I've seen a lot of meetings in that time, and understand the processes that, as an experienced councillor, I can offer the support to other councillors and have done in the past. And I've also learnt off other councillors in that process, and I think that's a key role of the position of leading the group, or deputising for president. I also have some professional degrees. One of them is in business management. I've got environmental management degrees, and I've sat on numerous committees within the region. Some of them are ECU, Regional Development Australia, a Built Environment Committee in Bunbury. And in my role as a project manager in the Water Corporation, I've just about met every other council president and CEO through the process of delivering projects in the various areas. But I think the key thing is being able to chair a meeting appropriately and have the adequate of people being able to have their say and controlling the guidelines of the agenda. Most of you know me, but some of you don't that well. So I'm hoping you put me as number one. Thanks.
Councillor Christine Tarantroy.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm standing for the position of Deputy President as I have the drive of commitment to fulfil the role. Over the last 2 years, I have served on the following 9 committees, 5 internal and 4 external: the Audit Committee, the Climate Change Adaptation and Sustainability Committee, the CEO Performance Review and Remuneration Panel, the Economic Development Committee, was deputy of the Development Assessment Panel, the DAP, was deputy on the State Administrative Tribunal, the SAT, was council representative on the Boyanup Memorial Park and Sports Council, and also on the Disability Access and Inclusion Reference Group. I have learnt a great deal serving on these 9 committees. I believe leadership should be focused on positive relationships, the empowerment of those you work with, and extending the ladder of opportunity to everyone by offering skill development opportunities if individual councillors seek professional opportunities beyond the 5 essential councillor training units. I value and practice transparency, integrity, acceptance of diversity and fairness. If elected by my peers as Deputy President, I will continue to serve and promote the whole of the Shire, and I will continue to work with my fellow councillors and the CEO and the Shire leadership staff for the benefit of the residents of the Shire of Capel. As Deputy President, I will lead by example and continue to value each councillor for their different and individual skill sets, knowledge, life experiences and views on matters that our Shire faces. The diverse council body helps us serve our residents from 9 different perspectives. As Deputy President, I will support the Shire President and lead by continuing to demonstrate the universal values of honesty, respect, integrity. I am up to the challenge of being Deputy President of the Shire of Capel, and I'm grateful to serve.
Councillor Sebastian Sciano.
Thank you, Mr. President. For those new councillors, I'll retell an analogy that I told in 2021, because I was quite excited about the fact that Daniel Ricciardo had managed to win the Italian Grand Prix in a McLaren of all things. Now, what I have to say is that in those last 2 years, as deputy and beside Doug, the Shire has been on its way up, and it breaks my heart to say that Daniel Ricciardo's race pace has perhaps been going the opposite way. But it just goes to show that how important a strong, cohesive council and leadership team has in building strength and responsibility and trust within the community. About 8 years ago now, I put my hand up to council because there was a group of people in our community under 25 and those under 18 that had no direct voice on this council. 8 years on, I'm incredibly proud to be here still today. Now, of course, Doug likes to remind me that 8 years on, I'm no longer below 25 and I can't claim youth anymore, but my goal has remained the same. I have always been here to represent those who don't have a voice and to represent the people of the Shire of Capel. And I don't like to say young and old, I like to say the young and the younger, and I'm here to represent those. So I'm so incredibly humbled to be back here at this table with fellow councillors and you, and congratulations to new councillors, and also to Kieran, who was my SOS teacher as well. But I ran on a platform of pride and vision because I was proud of what we'd done and I was excited about what we were going to do in the future. And that I hope that over the past 2 years I've been able to demonstrate to those who have been at the table and those who haven't that I work with integrity, fairness, and I value process. I'm always learning, and I'm still looking and excited to learn from everyone at this table, and I hope that one day you can perhaps learn something from me. But trust that I can represent the President, trust that I can represent the Shire, trust that I can represent the community, and trust that I can represent you. And that's why I'm seeking your support to continue in the role as Deputy President today.
Councillor, pardon me, Councillor Rosina Mogg.
Thank you, Mr. President. As a councillor the last 4 years, I feel I've demonstrated the right values, attributes and availability, skills and knowledge that I would perfectly complement the Shire President as Deputy, and it would be an honour to serve in that position for Council. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, councillors. And with that, I'll ask the Chief Executive Officer and staff to distribute the ballots.
Shire President, I can advise that after first round voting, we did not have a nominee with the required threshold of votes. We therefore eliminated the nominee with the lowest number of votes. At the second round and the redistribution of those preferences, I can declare that Councillor Sebastian Sciano received sufficient votes to be elected in the position of Deputy Shire President.
I, Sebastian Sciano Dicola of 17 Waddingham Loop, Capel, having been elected to the office of Deputy Shire President of the Shire of Capel, declare that I take the office upon myself with duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the local government rules of conduct regulations 2021.
Thank you, James. All right, we'll now move on to the allocation of councillor seating within the council chamber. The Shire of Capel Standing Orders Local Law 2016, Clause 7.2, indicates that at the first meeting held after the ordinary election day, the Chief Executive Officer is to allot by random draw the position at the council table to each councillor, and to which the councillor is to occupy that position when present at meetings of the council until such time that there is a call by the majority of councillors for a reallotment of positions. Allocation of seating will be undertaken for all positions except for those reserved for the orderly conduct of the meeting, being the President, Deputy President, CEO, Minute Taker and the Directors. And with that, I'll hand over to the Chief Executive Officer to conduct the allotment.
Thank you, Shire President. We'll start the draw, starting with seat number 1 at the council table, which is number 1 there, closest to the lectern. Councillor Rosina Mogg. Seat number 2. Next, Councillor Kieran Noonan. Seat number 3, Councillor Terry Sharp. Seat number 4, next to the Deputy Shire President, Councillor Christine Terrentroy. Seat number 5, which is next to the minute taker, Councillor Ashley Dillon. Seat 6, Councillor Peter McCleary, so as you were. And then seat number 7, next to Director of Infrastructure and Development, Councillor John Ferguson.
All right. Thank you, councillors, for that game of musical chairs. All right. We'll now move on with tonight's agenda. Item number 2, the record of attendance and apologies, leave of absence. I'd like to acknowledge the 2 Freemen we have in the room tonight, the Honourable Freeman, Mr. Bill Spur, Honourable Freeman, Mr. Murray Scott. I'd also like to record the attendance of the new 2023-2025 councillor and the 2 new additional members. There are no responses to previous public questions taken on notice. We now move on to public question time. There are some questions received on notice. Given the nature of the election cycle and there being no Shire President to review those questions, the responses have been generated by staff. As such, I will hand the response to all those questions to the Chief Executive Officer.
Thank you, Shire President. We had some questions taken on notice before the meeting from Mr. Brian Hearn from Peppermint Grove Beach.
Thank you, Mr. President. Almost an anticlimax after the excitement of the elections. My question relates to item 15.1, the financial report, which has an officer's recommendation that councillor receive the financial report. Can I refer councillors to page 75 of your agenda, those that have an agenda, or it's quite easy to turn up. You'll probably turn up in about 20 seconds. And the page 75 of your agenda is headed Capital Works Budget. So just an opening comment. Following substantial capital work carryovers of budgeted, scheduled and uncompleted works in the previous financial year to this financial year 23-24, year-to-date expenditure to the 30th of August 23 appears to be somewhere around 50% underspent in the 2 months compared with budget estimates, with major expenditure other than for a Jalorup fire station limited to the purchase of 3 passenger vehicles, a truck and an excavator. So my first question is, the report on pages 75 to 78 provides an excellent detailed description of each project the Shire has budgeted to complete in 23-24. As most of the projects have shown no advancement, why hasn't column 6, the comment column, been completed for all the projects to include details such as project start date, perhaps a reason for a delay, or even a comment such as assessing tenders with work to commence on a particular date?
The Chief Executive Officer.
Thank you, Shire President. Thank you, Mr. Hearn, for your question. Several road, footpath, bridge and drainage projects are all spring-summer-based projects because of the weather conditions and subject to Shire procurement protocols post-annual budget adoption, which is the main reason for the August 2023 Period 2 financial statements that do not include major capital spends to this reporting period. These capital projects are currently in tendering and procurement phases, with works and expenditure to be reported in later periods. Your suggestion is noted regarding providing additional information in the comment column in the interest of more informative reporting and community awareness. Shire officers will consider how this can be incorporated into future reporting.
Thank you. The second dot point in relation to the capital works budget. It's now October 25 and we're looking at expenditure figures to August 31st. With the council agenda papers published on the web on October 17, why can't we include a financial report up to September 30 rather than being 6 to 8 weeks behind nearly every time? Because I, as an interest ratepayer, are seeking value for money, and councillors need to get a look at financial reports sooner rather than later. I mean, 2-month delay is a long time.
The Chief Executive Officer.
Thank you, Mr Hearn. The Shire has sought to publish the ordinary council meeting agendas 2 weeks prior to the meeting taking place, which is earlier than the Act stipulates, allowing councillors and the community additional time to review all documentation. The early presentation of the agenda does impact on the time available to finalise the previous month's financial statement and include this item in the agenda cycle. But given the Act requires monthly financial statements to be presented to Council within 2 months of the month finalising, the Shire processes are compliant.
I'm sure they're compliant, Mr CEO, but really on the first of the month, to push up the button on a computer gives you a financial report. So surely we can be ahead of the game rather than 4 weeks behind the game.
We'll take that as a comment, Mr Hearn.
Thank you. Question 3, can assurances be given that the 4.5 million road program and the 1.3 million non-road program that includes paths, bridges and drainage infrastructure and accounts for only 50% of the capital works budget will be completed this year? If we can't give a commitment, if not, why not?
The Chief Executive Officer.
Thank you, Mr Hearn. The Shire always plans for the adopted capital works program to be delivered on time and on budget, while acknowledging that previous 2 years' programs saw a carry forward with some of the planned projects, which in most cases were unavoidably delayed due to staff resource shortages. Additionally, Shire projects are susceptible to a series of constraints often outside of our control, which may hinder our ability to deliver a full component of the capital works projects and programs, these being clearance permits, third-party approvals, often from government agencies, on-budget procurement responses yielding competitive tender outcomes, continuity in physical resourcing to manage and deliver capital works programs, and competitive contractor environment with reduced availability and response timeframes. The Shire plans to deliver this year's capital program, and any factors that may impact on that outcome will be reported to Council and the community at the time they are known.
Thank you. And may be included in the comments column. Yep. The budget provision for some of the prior year capital works carryover projects now in the 23-24 budget had to be increased by nearly 50%. As we are now 4 months into this fiscal period, are capital works contract prices, particularly for the roads program, softening, or are we still experiencing the impacts of high inflation that may result in further cost increases above what's been provided for in the budget?
The Chief Executive Officer.
Thank you, Mr Hearn. Prices are starting to stabilise, albeit at an increased rate and cost when compared to those pre-COVID. As mentioned earlier, the contractor labour market remains competitive with major state projects underway locally and regional mining organisations increasing their operations and requiring additional staff and contractors. The budget for the Capital Works program for 23-24 was designed with a financial buffer which would enable projects to absorb the cost escalation of 50%, minimising the risk of project deferrals. The Capital Works tenders we have received to date for this financial year are within budget, allowing for the works to commence in line with negotiated contractor availability.
It's good news. Can the visual graph on page 33 of the agenda be updated to reflect when expenditure is likely to occur rather than just showing what looks to be a graph drawn with a straight line progression?
The Chief Executive Officer.
The Shire is statutorily obligated to report the financial performance of operating and capital expenditure. The current processes of forecasting the spending trend for capital expenditure is under review, with the intent to procure a more sophisticated financial management system through the Shire's Enterprise Resourcing Platform project. Access to more advanced financial software will allow officers to project and track the progress of expenditure across the organisation in a more flexible and sophisticated manner, whilst improving the transparency of reporting outcomes to the community.
It's also good news. Is the capital works section of the financial report utilised by staff to monitor progress with regard to implementation? If not, what additional information do they have at their disposal that is not provided to councillors and the public and the ratepayers?
The Chief Executive Officer.
Thank you. Officers do track expenditure through utilising a blend of data contained in the financial reports and data that is generated through departmental operational planning schedules, which are internal working documents.
Thank you. And the second question, and the last one, it is noted that the year-to-date employee costs on page 38 of the financial report are overspent by some $52,000 after 2 months of this fiscal. Is this a trend for 23-24 or just a one-off aberration?
The Chief Executive Officer.
Thank you, Mr Hearn. This reported transaction is an anomaly and relates to a pending journal transfer, seeing this amount capitalised against contracted materials for capital projects and not salaries and wages.
Oh, what? So it was an incorrect posting, is that what you're saying?
Through you, Shire President, no, these were officer hours that have been currently logged against wages and salaries. However, they are capitalised against a capital project.
Understand.
And they will be subject to a financial journal transfer and reflected against that project.
Okay. Thank you, Mr President, and best wishes to the council for the next 2 years. All the best.
Thank you, Mr Hearn. All right, they're all the questions I have on notice. Are there any public questions from the floor? No public questions? No? All right, we'll move on to applications for leave of absence. Are there any applications for leave? No? Declarations of interest. Are there any interest declarations? I have received none. Nope. There are no notice of items to be discussed behind closed doors, so we'll move to the confirmation of the minutes of the ordinary council meeting for the 27th of September 2023. There's a recommendation there. There's a mover for those minutes, Councillor McCleary. Is there a seconder? Councillor Tarantroy. Councillor McCleary? Nope. Councillor Tarantroy. Is there any discussion on those minutes? No. Anything further from the mover? I'll put those minutes to the vote. All those in favour? Sorry, I'll do that again. All those in favour? And that's carried unanimous. All right. Announcements by the presiding member. I just have a couple. We have one late item in the agenda this evening. Item 16.1, request for tender 23-39, Microsoft licensing cloud solution provider. I would just like to, on behalf of the Council and Shire, thank Mr Bill Spur, Honorary Freeman, for conducting this evening's elections proceedings. We were discussing that a little bit earlier, that Mr Spur has been conducting these since the early 2000s, so that's just a rough estimate. I'm sure you've done many more than that, Bill. All right, and I'd just like to also thank the previous members of the Council for the 2021-23 period, former Councillor David Clues and former Councillor Cara Andrew, for their contributions to the community and Council over their 4-year and 3-year respective election periods. Your work and dedication to the roles and positions is greatly valued and appreciated. There are no petitions, deputations or presentations, and there are no motions of which previous notice has been given, and there are no questions of which previous notice has been given. We now move on to Chief Executive Officer reports. Item 13.1, the appointment of members to committees of council. Okay. All right. Given that there are a number of committees, the 4 committees of council to nominate elected members for, we have also received some nominations in writing. I will move all 4 recommendations en bloc. Can I get a seconder for that? Councillor Dillon. I'll reserve my right to comment on those at the moment. Councillor Dillon. All right, there being nothing further, I'll ask for a mover to suspend standing orders local law 2015. Moved by the Deputy President, Councillor Sciano. Is there a seconder for that procedural motion to suspend standing orders? Councillor Noonan. Is there a move? Sorry, I'll put that to the vote. Those in favour? And that is carried unanimous. All right. So we're now in suspending standing orders, so we can allow for a bit of discussion. Given that I moved all 4 recommendations en bloc, we can discuss the nominations of those committees as a whole. Return to standing orders, make the necessary changes, and do it all as one instead of going in and out of standing orders. So the first committee, the Audit and Risk Committee, there are 5 positions for councillors. Only 4 nominations have been received from Councillor Peter McCleary, Councillor Douglas Kitchen, Councillor Christine Tarantroy, and Councillor Rosina Mogg. There remains 1 position vacant. Per the terms of reference, though, that position does not need to be filled, but if there is an elected member who wishes to nominate for that position, I'll open nominations to the floor now. A nomination has been received by Councillor Ashley Dillon. Are there any further nominations for the Audit and Risk Committee? No? We'll move on to the Climate Change, Adaptation and Sustainability Committee. There are 5 councillor positions on that committee. 5 nominations have been received from Councillor Peter McCleary, Councillor Sebastian Sciano, Councillor John Ferguson, Councillor Terry Sharp, and Councillor Rosina Mogg. Are there any further nominations for the floor to join that committee? No? All right, we'll move along to the Bushfire Advisory Committee, of which there is 2 positions, one being the council delegate and one being the council proxy. We've received 4 nominations for that position, being Councillor Doug Kitchen, Councillor Ashley Dillon, Councillor Christine Tarantroy, and Councillor Terry Sharp. Okay, so we have 4 nominations for 2 positions. Are there any further nominations, though, for that committee from the floor? No? All right, we'll have to go to an election on that. Okay, all right. There being no further nominations for the BFAT committee, we will go to a ballot unless there are any members who wish to withdraw their nomination for that committee. No? Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. What we'll do is conduct a ballot in first past the post order for 4 positions. As Shire President, I have the right to be on that committee if I wish. However, in fairness, I will not use that privilege, and all 4 of us will go up for an equal ballot. To ensure a simple election process, we'll ask you to name number 1 and 2, number 1 being your first preference for the council delegate, and number 2 being the second preference, as in the council proxy. Is that understood? Yep. Okay. I'll ask the Chief Executive Officer and staff to undertake that ballot process for the Bushfire Advisory Committee. Question, Councillor Dillon?
So just to clarify, the first vote is for the delegate?
Yep.
And followed by the proxy?
Yes.
Correct, okay.
Through you, Shire President, can indicate that Councillor Doug Kitchen received the most number 1 votes and was therefore the delegate. Councillor Ashley Dillon received the most number 2 votes and is therefore the proxy.
All right. All right, we'll now move on to the Economic Development Advisory Committee. There are 4 positions for elected members. We've received 7 nominations. 3 councillor positions and 1 proxy. We've received 7 nominations, being Councillor Peter McCleary, Councillor Doug Kitchen, Councillor Christine Tarantroy, Councillor Sebastian Sciano, Councillor Kieran Noonan, Councillor John Ferguson and Councillor Rosina Mogg. Are there any further nominations, pardon me, from the floor for that committee? No? Are there any councillors wishing to withdraw their nomination? Councillor Tarantroy withdrawn. I will also withdraw my nomination. It's to 5. Are there any further? Yeah, that's fine. Are there any other elected members wishing to withdraw their nomination, or we will go to a ballot for that position? Councillor Mo, you withdrawing? Yep. So we're down to 4 councillors. Given that there are 3 councillor positions and 1 proxy, is there a member left of the group, being Councillor McCleary, Councillor Sciano, Councillor Noonan or Councillor Ferguson, that would consider taking the proxy position?
I'll take the proxy.
Councillor Sciano taking the proxy position. So we can say that in the councillor positions are Councillor McCleary, Councillor Noonan and Councillor Ferguson, and the councillor proxy is Councillor Sebastian Sciano. Okay, so that is it for the council committees. So I'll move that we return to standing orders. Is there a seconder for that? Councillor Dillon. All those in favour? And that is carried unanimous. Right. Seeing as we have resolved those positions via ballot, if the seconder concurs with myself as the mover, that we will change those. We'll amend those names to be in there, and the seconder consents to that. So, recommendation 1: the council appoint the following 5 councillors to the Audit and Risk Committee for a period ending on the ordinary election day of October 2025, being 1 Councillor McCleary, 2 Councillor Kitchen, 3 Councillor Tarantroy, 4 Councillor Mogg, and 5 Councillor Dillon. Recommendation 2 is amended that the council appoint the following 5 councillors to the Climate Change Adaptation and Sustainability period for a period ending on the ordinary election day of October 25th, 2025. Number 1, Councillor McCleary. Number 2, Councillor Sebastian Sciano. Number 3, Councillor John Ferguson. Number 4, Councillor Terry Sharp. And number 5, Councillor Rosina Mogg. Recommendation number 3, that council appoint the following members to the Bushfire Advisory Committee for a period ending on the ordinary election day of October 2025. The brigade nominations are not changing, simply the council delegate and council proxy, being Councillor Kitchen as the council proxy delegate and the proxy being Councillor Dillon. And recommendation 4, that council appoints the following members to the Capel Economic Development Advisory Committee for a period ending on election day in October 2025, being Councillor McCleary, Councillor Noonan and Councillor Ferguson, with the proxy being Councillor Sciano. Those changes were consented by the mover and the seconder. Are there any speakers against that recommendation, which are being moved, have been moved en bloc? Any speakers for? No. As the mover, I don't have anything further to add, so I'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? And that is carried unanimous. Now that we are between items, I'd just like to note that Honorary Freeman Margaret Smith has entered the chambers. On behalf of the Council, a very warm welcome to you. Item 13.2, appointment of members to external committees. I will move that item. Is there a seconder to that item? Councillor Tarantroy. I'll reserve my right. Councillor Tarantroy. Reserved. All right. Is there a mover to suspend standing orders? Councillor Sciano. Is there a seconder to suspend standing orders? Councillor Sharp. All those in favour of suspending standing orders? And that is carried unanimous. Okay. We have received some nominations. I'd just like to remind councillors, although the agenda has been updated and for the benefit of the public, that the Boynup Farmers Market Committee has requested that there be no council representation on their committee formally. So that has been withdrawn from the agenda. So we'll move to the Boynup Foundation first. One nomination was received, being Councillor Rosina Mogg. There is a second position. Are there any nominations for that committee? No. I'll put my name forward for that as well. So Boynup Foundation members are Councillor Mogg and Councillor Kitchen. Are there any nominations, further nominations for that committee? No. We'll move to the Boynup Hall Committee. There are two positions and there have been two nominations from Councillor Kitchen and Councillor Dillon. Are there any nominations from the floor for that committee?
Yeah, I've sent an email that have it on the list that we're not the Royal Park Council.
We're on the Hall Committee, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Are there any further nominations for the Boynup Hall Committee? No. We'll move to the Boynup Memorial Park and Sports Council. There are two positions. There have been two nominations from Councillor Ashley Dillon and Councillor Christine Tarantroy. Are there any further nominations for that committee? No. Boynup Progress Association, there is one position. There has been one nomination from Councillor Sciano. Are there any further nominations for that position? No. The Capel Chamber of Commerce, there are two positions, one being the delegate and one being the deputy. There have been three nominations received. Nomination received from Councillor Kitchen, Councillor Sebastian Sciano and Councillor John Ferguson. Are there any members that wish to withdraw their nomination from that position? I will withdraw my name from that. So we're left with two council nominations, Councillor Sciano and Councillor Ferguson. Do either of you wish to be the delegate or the proxy?
I'm happy to be the proxy. John would like to be the delegate.
All right, so we have Councillor Ferguson as the delegate and the deputy as Councillor Sciano. The Capel Land Conservation District Committee, there are two positions, one delegate and one deputy. There have been three nominations for that committee, Councillor Kitchen, Councillor Dillon and Councillor Sharp. Are there any further nominations for that committee? No. Are there any members wishing to withdraw their nomination? Councillor Dillon withdrawing. That leaves just Councillor Kitchen and Councillor Sharp. Councillor, I'm happy to be the deputy if you wish to be the delegate.
Oh, that's a bit of an honour. I'm not sure if I'm up to that yet, but I'm happy to take that.
All right, so the councillor delegate is Councillor Sharp and the deputy is Councillor Kitchen. All right, we move to the Development Assessment Panel. There are 2 council delegate positions and 2 councillor deputy positions. There have been 4 nominations received for those positions, being Councillor McCleary, Councillor Sciano, Councillor Noonan and Councillor Ferguson. Are there any further nominations to join that panel? No. There being 4 positions and 4 members, are there any members who wish to be delegates or concede to being the deputy or proxy?
Well, I did nominate as deputy, so I'm happy to...
Oh, sorry, I did see that here. I thought that was... Yep. All right, so Councillor Sciano is happy to be in the deputy position. Are there any other elected members who would be in the deputy position? Councillor Noonan? All right, so that means Councillor Ferguson and Councillor McCleary are the delegates to the DAP. Okay, we move to the Disability Access and Inclusion Group. There are 2 councillor positions. 1 nomination has been received from Councillor Kitchen. Are there any other councillors wishing to nominate for that committee? Councillor Sharp? Are there any other elected members wishing to nominate? No? Oh, Councillor Noonan? All right, there are 2 positions and there's now 3 nominations. No? Do you still wish to nominate? No? All right, so in the Disability Access and Inclusion Group we have Councillor Kitchen and Councillor Sharp. All right, we move on to GeoCatch, the Geographic Catchment Council. We have 1 council delegate position and 1 deputy position. There have been 5 nominations received from Councillor McCleary, Councillor Dillon, Councillor Terran-Troy, Councillor Ferguson and Councillor Sharp. Are there any further nominations for that committee? No. Are there any councillors wishing to withdraw their nomination? Councillor Dillon, Councillor Terran-Troy. Any further members wishing to withdraw? No. So we have Councillor McCleary, Councillor Ferguson and Councillor Sharp. Councillor McCleary's nominated for deputy. Of the other 2 members, Councillor Ferguson and Councillor Sharp, if we go to a ballot for the delegate position, would you want to be in the deputy position or are you happy to concede that to Councillor McCleary? Okay, so Councillor McCleary is the deputy for the GeoCatch. Councillor Ferguson and Councillor Sharp, we will go to a ballot for that position, for the delegate position. Sorry? Would the council prefer to go to a ballot or draw a name out of a hat? Ballot? We'll go to ballot. There's nothing to stop me from moving on while you do that. All right, while officers prepare the ballots, we'll move on to a few other committees and come back to GeoCatch. So, next up is the Jalorup Community Centre Management Committee. There is 1 council delegate position and 1 councillor delegate position. 3 nominations have been received from Councillor Dillon, Councillor Sharp and Councillor Mogg. Is there any further nominations for that committee? No? Are there any councillors wishing to withdraw their nomination? No. Of Councillor Dillon, Sharp or Mogg, if we go to a ballot for the delegate position, would one of you be interested in the deputy position? You'd be happy with deputy? Councillor Mogg or Sharp, if you lost the delegate ballot, would you be happy to concede the proxy position to Councillor Dillon? Is that a yes, Councillor, or yes? So Councillor Dillon is the deputy to the Jalorup Community Centre Management Committee. We will go to a ballot on the delegate position as well, which we will do after the GeoCatch. Move on to the Local Emergency Management Committee. There are 3 positions. One is already occupied by the Shire President as the chair of that committee under the regulation. There are 2 more councillor positions. We have received 4 nominations. One of them is my own though, so that is moved as the Shire President is automatic member. The other nominations are from Councillor Dillon, Councillor Tarantroy and Councillor Sharp. Are there any further nominations for the Local Emergency Management Committee? Do them all at the end. All right, so the Local Emergency Management Committee, we had 3 other nominations, Councillor Dillon, Councillor Tarantroy and Councillor Sharp. There are 2 positions. Are there any further nominations for that committee? No. Are there any members wishing to withdraw? Councillor Tarantroy. There being 2 positions and 2 nominations, being Councillor Dillon, Councillor Sharp, we'll put them in for the Local Emergency Management Committee. We now move to the Peppermint Grove Beach Community Association. There is 1 position. I have received 1 nomination from Councillor Ferguson. Are there any other nominations for that committee? No. We'll put Councillor Ferguson as the councillor representative to the Peppermint Grove Beach Community Association. Alright, we now move to the Parent Naturalist Partnership. There is 1 councillor delegate position and 1 deputy position. We've received 5 nominations for those positions from Councillor McCleary, Councillor Tarantroy, Councillor Noonan, Councillor Ferguson and Councillor Mogg. Are there any other nominations for that position? No. Are there any elected members wishing to withdraw their nomination? Councillor McCleary? Any other withdrawals? Councillor Tarantroy? Are there any other elected members wishing to withdraw their nomination? Councillor Mogg? So we're left with 2 nominations and there's 2 positions, being the delegate and the deputy, Councillor Noonan and Councillor Ferguson. Is one of you willing to concede to the deputy position, or we'll go to a ballot? We'll go to a ballot. There'll be a ballot on the PNP for Councillor Ferguson and Councillor Noonan. Right, we've now moved to the State Administrative Tribunal. There are 2 councillor positions, both delegates. There have been 2 nominations from Councillor Kitchen and Councillor Mogg. Are there any further nominations for the tribunal? No. Well, we have 2 members for that. Southwest Regional Road Group. We have 2 positions. I have here that they're both delegates, but I believe there's only 1 delegate and 1 proxy. So we have 2 nominations from Councillor McCleary and from Councillor Mogg. Are there any further nominations for the Southwest Regional Road Group? Are there any? Nope. I'm going to move myself there. All right, so Councillor Mogg or Councillor McCleary, is one of you willing to be the proxy? Councillor Mogg? So Councillor McCleary is the delegate. Right, the Southwest WA Local Government Association. There are 2 positions there. One is already occupied by the Shire President as Council's representative. There is a 2nd position. There have been 4 nominations, 1 being my own, so that is removed. So that leaves 3, being Councillor Christine Tarantroy, Councillor Sebastian Sciano and Councillor Kieran Noonan. Are there any further nominations for the Southwest Zone? No. Are there any members wishing to withdraw their nomination? Councillor Noonan. So that leaves Councillor Tarantroy and Councillor Sciano. We'll go to a ballot. Yep.
No, I'll withdraw.
All right. Councillor Sciano withdrawing. So that leaves the South West Local Government Zone with the Shire President as the primary representative and Councillor Tarantroy as the deputy. All right, we now move to the Trials Working Group. There is one council delegate position and one deputy position. There has been 4 nominations received for this group, being Councillor McCleary, Councillor Kitchen, Councillor Noonan and Councillor Sharp. Are there any further nominations for that committee? Councillor Mogg. Any further nominations? Are there any members wishing to withdraw their nomination? Councillor McCleary. Are there any other members wishing to withdraw their nomination? No, so that leaves Councillor Kitchen, Councillor Noonan, Councillor Sharp and Councillor Mogg. All right. I'm happy to go into the deputy position. Is there anyone else wishing for the deputy position? So Councillor Noonan, Councillor Sharp and Councillor Mogg, if you lost the primary delegate ballot, would you be willing to concede the deputy position? Yes, yes and yes. All right, so I'll go into the deputy position and we'll go to a ballot for the primary delegate for the Trails Working Group. All right, that's that list exhausted, so we will go to ballot as mentioned for Geocache, the Jalorup Community Management Centre, the Parent Naturalist Partnership and the Trails Working Group. You want to do all ballots at the same time? Yep, we'll distribute all the ballots at the same time, so we'll just wait for the staff to be ready. I'll just remind members, the first is for Geocache, the Geographic Catchment Council. We'll be voting on the primary representative for that committee, which will be between Councillor Ferguson and Sharp. For the Jalorup Community Management Committee, that will be voting for the primary delegate, and that will be between Councillor Sharp and Councillor Mogg. For the Parent Naturalist Partnership, that will be for the allocation of primary and deputy, which will be between Councillor Noonan and Councillor Ferguson. And the Trails Working Group, which will be for the primary council representative position, which will be between Councillor Noonan, Sharp and Mogg.
Excuse me, Mr. President.
Yes.
Can I please be removed from the Jalorup Community Inc. ballot, as I'm already a member, so would welcome a council representative to attend meetings.
Sure. So the Jalorup Community Management Centre was for the primary position, which was between Councillor Sharp and Mogg, with Councillor Dillon already selected as the deputy, so that leaves Councillor Sharp as the primary delegate. All right, so we'll remove that from the list of ballots. So that will just leave the Geocache, the Parent Naturalist Partnership and the Trails Working Group. Are you ready for those? Is everyone clear on what we're voting on? Yep. Sorry?
Do one at a time.
So we're doing one, yeah, sorry, we're doing one at a time. Okay, yeah, so ballots will be distributed one at a time, but the elections will be in tandem. So for the Parent Naturalist Partnership, whoever receives, there's 2 candidates. So for trails, that's just for the primary delegate. So whoever receives the most votes, because it's the first past the post system, will be the selected representative. Pardon? If councillors could number, would be appreciated. Or sorry, because it is, yeah, sorry, it's because it is first past the preference. Just do a number 1, don't preference. Yep. No, it said it's first past the post. Sorry. Yep. Councillor, yes? Not at the moment, because we're instant, yeah. Yeah, no, because we're in suspense standing orders, but we won't be too much longer. I'll suspend it once we come out of this item.
Shire President, the member for Geocache is Councillor John Ferguson with Councillor Peter McCleary as deputy. The member for Parent Naturalist Partnership is Councillor John Ferguson. And Deputy Councillor Kieran Noonan. And the Trails Working Group, the member is Councillor Kieran Noonan.
All right. Okay, all right. I will move that we return to standing orders. Is there a seconder? Councillor Sciano. All those in favour? And that's carried unanimous. All right. With the consent of the seconder, Councillor Terrantroy, I'll make the following amendments to that recommendation. That Council appoint the following members and deputies for a 2-year term to the external committees as follows. Boyne Up Foundation, Councillor Mogg and Councillor Kitchen. Boyne Up Hall Committee, Councillor Kitchen and Councillor Dillon. Boyne Up Memorial Park and Sports Council, Councillor Dillon and Councillor Terrantroy. Boyne Up Progress Association, Councillor Sciano. The Capel Chamber of Commerce, Councillor Ferguson and Deputy Councillor Sciano. The Capel Land Conservation District Committee, Councillor Sharp and Deputy Councillor Kitchen. The Development Assessment Panel, Councillor McCleary and Councillor Ferguson, with Deputies Councillor Sciano and Councillor Noonan. Sorry, we'll just slow up so we can make sure the minute taker is. All right. Disability Access and Inclusion Reference Group, Councillor Sharp and Councillor Kitchen. Geocatch, Councillor Ferguson and Deputy Councillor, who was that, sorry? Sharp. Oh, sorry, McCleary, sorry. So Geocatch, Councillor Ferguson and Deputy Councillor Sharp. Oh, I did it again. Geocatch, Councillor Ferguson and Deputy Councillor McCleary. I kept reading the next one below. Jalorup Community Management Centre Committee, Councillor Sharp and Deputy Councillor Dillon. Local Emergency Management Committee, the Shire President as Chair, and Councillor Dillon and Councillor Sharp. The Peppermint Grove Beach Community Association, Councillor Ferguson. The Parent Naturalist Partnership, Councillor Ferguson and Deputy Councillor Noonan. The State Administrative Tribunal, Councillor Kitchen and Councillor Mogg as proxy. Sorry, no, that's for the Regional Road Group. Southwest Regional Road Group, Councillor McCleary and Councillor Mogg as deputy. The Southwest Zone of the Walga Association, the Shire President, Councillor Kitchen and Councillor Terrantroy. The Trails Working Group, Councillor Noonan and Deputy Councillor Kitchen. Do I have the seconder's consent to those changes? Yes? Okay. Is there any speakers against that recommendation? No? Councillors, is there any speakers for or against that recommendation? No? As the mover, I'd have nothing further to say, so I'll put that to the vote. Is everyone clear? Yep. I'll put that to the vote. Those in favour? And that is carried unanimous. All right, I will adjourn the meeting for 10 minutes, just to allow a bit of a refresh. So we'll reconvene at 8:03. 10. Oh, well, just get it done. I know Peter's got some issues. Yeah.
The next part will get done in 10 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
The two items. So.
I don't think I've spoken that much for nearly 2 years.
When I did this last time when you weren't here, I bloody forgot to put myself on anything.
Oh, yeah.
And I did
Your seats, please. We'll begin very, very shortly. Where's the CEO? There.
Jeez, Dilla.
Everyone's got to find everyone's got to remember what seat they got up from. Actually, Peter's in the exact same seat as last time, mate.
Yes. All right. It being 8:03, I'll call back to order the Shire of Capel Council. We now move to Community and Corporate Reports, item 15.1, the financial reports for the 31st of August 2023. Is there a mover for those? Councillor Tarantroy. Is there a seconder? Councillor Mogg. Councillor Tarantroy.
Nothing to add. I just thank the officers for all their hard work and, yeah, thank you.
Councillor Mogg.
Thank you, President. Nothing to add to that. Thank you.
Are there any speakers for or against those financial statements? No? Does the mover wish to close? I'll put them to the vote. Those in favour? That's carried unanimous. We now move to item 16, new business of an urgent nature. 16.1, request for tender 23-39, Microsoft licensing cloud solution provider. Is there a mover for that? Councillor McCleary. Is there a seconder? The Deputy President. Councillor McCleary.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, look, this is obviously very urgent, and we need to get things rolling because of the risks that we're faced. It's simply looking after our Microsoft licensing process, and it's all cloud-based, so moving to a new provider, and it looks like there's a very valid assessment of the contractors that came in.
The Deputy President.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. This is obviously very urgent given the nature of the period in which the current licence ends at the end of the month and the disruption that it would have to council, to the administration if it wasn't renewed. I think realistically the price that's been proposed is very competitive, and as staff have noted to councillors, it's 274,000 over the 3 years. So. But that's not an upfront cost, and I think it's actually come below what is budgeted in the 2023-24 budget. So I think it's a good deal, and yeah, it's vital that we continue on our licence for our CSP and MPSA so that we can have no disruptions to our service.
Are there any speakers against that item? Speakers for? No further speakers? Does the mover wish to close? I'll put that item to the vote. Those in favour? And that's carried unanimous. Public question time. Are there any questions from the public? No questions? All right, we'll move on. Motions without notice. No motions. No. Are there any notices of motion for consideration at the next ordinary meeting of the council? No. There are no items for consideration behind closed doors, and there being no further business on tonight's agenda, I'll declare the meeting closed at 8:07 p.m. Thank you very much for your attendance, and in closing, a very warm welcome and congratulations to our new elected members, those who have returned to join us again, and it's a pleasure to once again lead the council for the 2023-2025 term. We'll see you next month.